What was it like when you heard that your mom had cancer?
I was at a rodeo in Heber, and my mom came up to watch me, and she went to the bathroom, and she started to bleed, and they took her to the emergency room, and they found a bunch of tumors. And so that evening, we got the word that mom had her hands full, and then Sunday morning, they did some surgery and removed a lot of the tumors, and started to do the biopsies. And then it was the waiting game. About 2 weeks later, we went up to Huntsman's, and I'll never forget, I had just such an optimistic attitude and just this unstoppable approach. And we knew it was bladder cancer, we just didn't know to what extent. And as I sat, actually I didn't sit, I was at Huntsman, and mom was sitting on the bed, and Susan and dad were in the chairs, and I was standing in the corner. And when the doctors came in, they were looking at the chart, and they told her what she had, and they told her that she's got 18 months to live. I'll never forget how my knees started to buckle, started to get warm in the room, and it was just such an unknown time. And I wanted to keep that same hope, but I also knew that we were dealing with professionals, and they told us that they weren't fighting for a cure, they were just working to extend her life. And it was at that point that I realized what really was important, and why we played the game.
What was important?
To being together, memories, time together, holding hands, chit-chatting, getting a Diet Coke, sitting on the back porch. Nothing to do with how much money we make, how much money we've got in the bank, what we drive. It was all about just the times together, and it just totally changed my entire outlook.
How did that change your perspective with your wife and kids?
Significantly. Since this all taken place, I've changed my career and put myself in a position where I can be available. I don't want to miss anything. I want to be able to, cover my bills and take care of my family. But I want to be available. I want to be able to create those lasting memories. Because as I watched her pass through, it never was about how big our house was. It never was how many zeros were in the bank account. It was about the simple things. In fact, one of the experiences that was really powerful is that mom got really sick there towards the end, and hospice came in and said, she could go anytime. But she hung on for another 3 or 4 days, and at one point she was unconscious for about 18 hours, and we gathered as a family in the middle of the night, and we knew that she was going to pass. And then we came back later that day. She still kept holding on. At about 11 o'clock in the morning, she just came to and sat up in her bed. And it was just a beautiful, brief moment of consciousness. The entire family was there. It was a Wednesday. All the kids were gathered around. And we were sitting at the foot of her bed. And it was just neat, the little simple things that she was looking for. She asked for a Diet Coke. And so we went and got her an ice cold Diet Coke. And I wish I had a video. It could have been an awesome Diet Coke commercial. And we popped the top and we put a little straw in there. And she's been in an 18-hour coma, where I'd given her a blessing to pass on, like it was over. And now here she is, she's sitting up, and she takes this sip of this Diet Coke, and just that feeling of satisfaction. It would have sold truckloads of Coke. So she took that sip, and then she leaned back in her bed, and she just kind of was looking around, and she had some to-do lists for us. She had a thank you card that she wanted us to write to some friends of hers that had reached out that she had yet to be able to do. She wanted to make sure that we had a gift for her grandson Colt's preschool graduation. And then she looked around and she said, "Well, why don't we just play a hand of cards?" And she'd been gone. She came back to us, and the simplicity of her approach when she came back was just so inspiring to me. It was about an ice cold beverage. It was about serving others, and it was about being together and playing a hand of 31. It's a card that we would always play on the deer hunt, a card game, and it just meant the world to her. And to me, that was the awakening that I needed. And there's so much more to this life than just stacking dollars.
So why does that add up to a run then? How did you guys get from your mom passing away to the run?
Why the run? It's important to me cut that all out. Let me regroup there. The why the run? The legacy that my mom left behind is extremely important to me. You know, she means the world to me. I've often said this even when she was still around. It's hard to put into words a mother's love. A mom will never quit you. You know, you can do things where your wife might leave you. You can do things where your father might disown you, but your mom will never quit you. And there's a legacy there that is just hard to put into words. And my mom's love was just, it knew no boundary. And that to me was why this run's so important. I want her legacy and the legacy of so many, like Jane Wilson, dear friend, dear family, wonderful people, and I want their legacy to live on forever. And then those of us that have lost our mothers, it's an opportunity to reflect and appreciate. And those that haven't, it's an opportunity to enjoy